Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Andrea Bonner, Chair of HCC's Consumer Arts and Sciences Center of Excellence, and here's more information on how you can find us. We're on the Houston City College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. Today, we will be talking about one of HCC's biggest events and the culmination of a year-long undertaking from some of our hardest working students. Professor Cheryl Whitaker, Program Coordinator for HCC's Fashion Management and Merchandising Program, will join us to preview this wonderful event and tell us what it means for all of the amazing students who have been working on this event all year. HCC's Fashion Management and Merchandising Program offers an opportunity for students to prepare for careers in fashion retailing or wholesale operations through basic training and merchandising techniques, along with creative development. The year-end fashion show is an opportunity for students to showcase everything they've learned over the year. Cheryl Whitaker will join us in about 10 minutes to tell us all about it. But first, it's time for the latest Eagle News, updates from across Houston City College District System, a place where we share the latest stories and events with students and faculty and support our mission for student success. The Interpreting Training / American Sign Language AAS program at Houston City College is a 2-year course of study that prepares students for entry-level employment in the interpreting professions. The curriculum builds strong ASL communication skills, cultural understanding, and practical interpreting techniques needed to learn to work with deaf and hard of hearing individuals in a variety of settings. Recently, Chick-fil-A hired 4 deaf workers at one of its locations, and our ASL honors program went to location to teach the hearing staff how to communicate with their new coworkers.
We're here at Chick-fil-A in the Pasadena LaPorte location. And the reason why we're here is because there are 4 deaf employees that are here. And when I say we, I mean our American Sign Language Honor Society. We're here to teach sign language to the hearing staff members so we can create a more inclusive environment. I think a lot of people don't realize that we are at HCC. They don't know that there's a sign language classes there or there's an interpreting program there. So this project is really more about spreading awareness about sign language and deaf culture. And if somebody says, oh, well, I want to know more, come and take more classes. We have classes like deaf culture, deaf history, where you can learn a lot. ASL 1, ASL 2.
Well, it's really valuable to know American Sign Language to communicate in general. Communication is just so critical. Well, it's just so critical to communicate with deaf people who come in. ASL is so important for them to come in, for anyone to come in, whether it's here or to learn in school. It's great stuff.
Learning ASL has changed my way of communicating. It kind of bridged the gap between the hearing and the deaf community, because obviously there is a communication barrier there because, it's 2 different languages. And so learning ASL, it kind of help me better communicate, helps me better understand people from the deaf community. And the deaf community, they're so friendly and they're so inviting. So that kind of helps me want to even learn even more and put myself out there even more. So it's helping me grow as a person and come out of my shell a little bit.
For me, this event is very important for our Honor Society members to all get together and provide a sense of community service. Our main goal is for the deaf and the hearing worlds to kind of merge and come together, right? So if we can facilitate and support that happening, that is one of our main goals as our society. So it's something that I wanted to make sure I was here as to be a part of, support the other members, and seeing people engage in this new language that is not based on voice or sound. It's based on gestures and hand movements, and it's a very cool language to see people start to understand the basics of, right? Because it's so different from other languages.
I actually go to a church with one of the deaf employees. And so we were just talking one day, and he mentioned that he worked here, and he mentioned that there were other deaf people here. And so part of our mission is to serve the deaf community. So I don't know, I just kind of brought the idea to my students and they loved it. And so there's about 10 ASL Honor Society members here today. My advice is be patient with yourself. Sign language is really difficult. They actually say that it's a level 4 out of 4 difficulty level. So like it's almost as hard as learning Mandarin or Swahili. So sign language is really, really difficult because it's a mind-body connection where you have to tell your hands what to do. And that's not in very intricate ways that are not the norm. So be patient with yourself and have fun. I think it's such a beautiful language. I love using it. I love communicating with it. And I think the deaf community is such a beautiful community to be a part of. I'm so thankful for all of our HGC Honor Society students. We even have some students from HGC that are not in the Honor Society that are here today. I'm also really grateful to Chick-fil-A for allowing us to have this happen. I've been speaking with their manager. She is amazing. And she's just been yes, yes, yes to everything. So I feel like when we have people like that have an open heart and open mind, I think it makes inclusivity a lot easier to happen.
It certainly makes for a much more productive work environment for everyone. And we want to say that if you're interested in Houston City College's ASL program, we will add a link to our information in the show notes. And this next event, we teased several times, and now we want to show you all of the fun and learning that took place at the second annual Data Summit at the HCC West Houston campus. As a growing hub for forward-thinking ideas, the West Houston Institute continues to spark conversations that shape the future. This event focuses on how data can improve student success. Let's take a look.
We are at the West Houston Institute for the second annual Data Summit hosted by the Data and Analytics Committee of the Institutional Effectiveness Council. And we're so pleased to be here to center everybody in the theme, Signals That Matter, Changing Lives Through Data. It's been an incredible day of fellowship, collaboration, and just learning from best practices from one another.
The panel is focused on having a conversation around what data means. I mean, how data can be different and how different types of information can be used to make those decisions about student learning or advising or different ways of organizing our system. So the breakout sessions are opportunities for different people across the institution that have engaged in really good practice around use of data. So you might have a session from faculty, you might have a session from staff, and they're going to demonstrate different ways in which their data use has informed their practice, how they've improved, things that they've learned in using data, how best to execute plans based on data, and just showing people what's possible.
Like anything else, and it's great that this is at the West Houston Institute, which is the hub of innovation. And what this will really do is it's going to get people thinking about the best ways that they can use data in ways that they never thought about. They may go, oh, I didn't think about using maybe one piece of data and how it connects to another piece of data, how maybe student performance connects with student satisfaction, and come up with plans to use it.
This year we did something a little different. We were very intentional about having giveaways and door prizes that were created in-house at HCC in our Ideas Studio, really led by Mike Stafford and the library team. And we really looked at the data too about how much money was saved for us to use our resources internally to give back to our participants for today. Today was really special. We had faculty, staff, students, and community members in the room looking at interrogating our data, giving feedback around how we can use this data better. And we want to thank everyone from who made this event possible, our volunteers, our in-kind donations, all of the attendees and the presenters who made today possible for us to leverage this as a development opportunity every year.
We certainly hope that this does become an annual event that we can all look forward to for years to come. If you would like more information about the Data Summit or about the Innovation Council, we will have the link to their page in our show notes. That event looked like a lot of fun. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, Professor Cheryl Whitaker will join me to preview this year's HCC fashion show. We'll be right back.
Here in Houston, we're always planning the next step.
That step starts at Houston City College.
From caring
To creating.
to coding. HCC is the college Houston needs. Take your next step here.
Dear Coach. Dear Coach.
Dear Coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong, but you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once, but you taught me that.
First tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of.
You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at firsttee.org.
My name is Irene. My job is community school coordinator. My mom taught us that it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can always find a way to help. We started the pantry because the needs were so great. We're very fortunate to have the food bank just a few miles down. I just want our kids to experience what other kids experience and learn to say, what do I want to be when I grow up? And not worry about food.
Welcome back. Students in the Fashion Management and Merchandising program here at HCC build a foundation in merchandising strategy, consumer insights, and retail operations while developing creative, analytical, and technical skills aligned with today's evolving fashion industry. 21 student designers from the fashion design program will showcase everything that they have learned over their career with the show produced by the fashion management and merchandising students. And I have to say, this is one of my departments, so I, take special interest here. But the show will take place May 1st at the HCC Central Harmon building. And here to tell us about the program and the show is Professor Cheryl Whitaker, program coordinator from HCC's Fashion Management and Merchandising program. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad to have you. So first, and I was so excited about this interview, tell us about the Fashion Management and Merchandising program and how it prepares students to perform a show like this and just about their preparation in general for the industry.
Well, the Fashion Management and Merchandising program, of course, is where students learn the business side of the industry. And in reality, designers really can't do anything without a merchandiser. And so with this particular show, our students are learning what goes on behind the scenes of a fashion show, all the nuts and bolts of how to produce a show. And so they get to experience it real time by actually producing a fashion show for the college.
So it's not all glam and glitz. There's a lot of things. And because I produced the show before with students before you took it over, I think that's a misconception that people think it's easy. So
huge misconception. It is all about the details. It's not a pretty thing. It is all about business and making sure everything in the production goes smoothly, which means lots of collaboration and partnerships with various departments on campus.
That's great. We love collaboration. So this year's title of the show is Emerging Through Time. So where did that concept come from? Did the students create that title? Tell us how that came to be.
So with our fashion show production, we have a very unique situation. So with that, the students, my fashion promotion students, are tasked with creating a show for 21 designers. So it's a very unique experience for our students in that we view each designer as a customer. Mm-hmm. And so how do we collectively showcase everyone in a great light where they feel like, oh, they did this show for me? And so it's a lot of brainstorming, and the students come up with the title and the theme as well as all the staging.
That's really good. Did the designers like the name? Because sometimes it's like we create the name and then they're like, how'd y'all come up with that name?
I haven't heard any feedback from the designers, but they're so busy with their collections and making sure that they actually made it through the jury, that they probably haven't had time to focus on it. But here we are.
Yes. And they trusted you. So great name. So Tell us, you'd mentioned the designers. There's 21 student designers who created all of the outfits for the evening. So tell us a little bit about these student designers, and I'm excited to see.
So the student designers, it is kudos to them to make it this far because it is as you know, collections is a 2-semester class. And so it requires them to make it to this second semester where they've created their 5 looks and then go through a judging to see if they actually make it to the show. So it's quite exciting. They're all nervous. Last week they got to find out who made the cut, and so it's exciting times for them.
I love it. I love it. And you've kind of already talked a little bit about what goes on to the show, from marketing to the look of the event, even running the show. Anything else that you'd share? One thing is staging. I saw them working on staging. So they build the set and all of those things.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts in a fashion show production. And students, I want them to experience what it's like to work in the actual industry. So they have to come up with the set design, they have to execute it, they have to get on board and collaborate with each other. And of course, when you're in a classroom full of students who all have their own ideas and concepts, you have to work it out. And so that means disagreements, but then coming up with solutions. And so, yeah, it's a full-on production in the classroom.
The same thing you do with your colleagues every day. You've got to work it out and make it work.
Absolutely.
So that's great. So talk to us a little bit about the hands-on real-world experience that students receive, not just in fashion show production, but in our program in general.
Well, I'm really quite big on going beyond the textbook. I like to think we need to bring the textbook to life so that students really walk away from here with great skills and really understanding what the expectations will be of them in the industry. And so you've got to, as I always tell faculty, this is a different generation of students. We've got to create more of an interactive, immersive experience in the classroom so that they really understand the information we're trying to teach them.
I love that. Now we have, and I don't know that that's a question, but I just thought of it. We have our in-person program, but we also now have an fully online fashion management and merchandising program. So how can some student who lives in a little country town in, the middle of anywhere access this program?
So yeah, we're really excited about our 100% online program. And so of course they can go through the normal channels of registering or applying and registering. But even with online, we really strive to make sure that our students are getting the same experience as they would in class, on campus, online. And they have the ability through technology, my favorite topic, to have that experience.
That's great. So back to the fashion show, there's a fee to attend, but we don't, just treat the students to dinner with that fee. So where does that money go? How does it support the program and students?
So yes, it's $20. It goes to our foundation. And what's so nice about it is it allows us to give scholarships to our students who are in need. And so at the end of the show, we award those scholarships and on both fashion design and the management and merchandising side. And so it's a great evening.
We love that. So, and you and I both know this. So when people think about fashion, they go immediately into clothing. Everybody thinks you're a designer. So, but we know that there's much more to that into supply and merchandising side. So how can people who are interested in going into fashion get into the program?
So it's quite simple. You really just go to our HCC website, the brand new website.
Yes.
And you can apply to our program. You can access it. You can see what classes might interest you and just register and come see us.
Well, and talk just a little bit, I think we've got a couple more minutes, about that whole delineation between design and merchandising. And what students, and you say this well often, is that people only think of a few jobs.
Right.
And as I always like to say, there are more jobs on that side than there are on the design side. So talk to us a little bit about opportunities that students might have for them.
So when anyone mentions fashion, everybody assumes it is the design side. I tease the students all the time. I said, what's the question anybody asks you when you say you're studying fashion? And first question is always, oh, you sew? Can you make me this? But in reality, the merchandising side is really where all the details come into play regarding the fashion industry. Fashion is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and there are thousands upon thousands of jobs for our students to pursue, and they go way beyond the design side. Designers can't really function without a merchandiser. Merchandisers always say are the voice of reason for the designers.
Yes, we help run the business. So
Absolutely.
I thank you for that. And I know kudos to you. You were a recent NISOD winner, just speaking to your innovative spirit. And you also mentioned technology, how huge that is in the industry. And I think that's a great way to kind of end things and talking about how technology is infused into the industry these days.
Absolutely. The fashion industry as a whole has always run on traditional methods since the beginning of the fashion industry. But that's resulted in a lot of environmental issues. And so, like most industries, you turn to technology to find a solution, and the fashion industry is no different. And so now we're seeing 3D technology, we're seeing less waste. And so that's something we try to impart to our students so that they're prepared to go into the industry.
Well, Professor Whitaker, any last words before we close out? This is like us talking all the time. So anything you'd like for people to know as we close out?
I'd like I'd like you to know that we would love to have you come to our fashion show. Our students are really excited to show you what they've produced, and also not only on the clothing side, but on the merchandising side. And so we'd love to have you come out, and we'd love to have you join our programs.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you for joining us today, Professor Cheryl Whitaker, and we look forward to the show on Friday. It's going to be a busy day. We thank you for all of the information about the program as well.
My pleasure.
So coming up after a quick commercial break, I will return with Save the Date announcements.
There have always been a few ready to fight and win. Since 1775, these few have been Marines, and they come from across this land to defend the future of our nation. This year, our Corps celebrates 250 years, and Marines are proud to serve this country, each other, and all that is still to come for America.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
En Houston, siempre planeamos el siguiente paso.
Ese paso comienza en Houston City College.
Del cuidado.
A la creación.
A la promoción.
HCC es la universidad que Houston necesita. Tu siguiente paso es aquí.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Dear Coach.
Dear Coach. Dear Coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong. But you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once. But you taught me that.
First tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of.
You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at firsttee.org.
Welcome back. Here are some important news and notes we think you should know. First, Through Our Lens Film Showcase. Join us for the first annual Through Our Lens Film Fest, an evening of short films that invite you into stories most people never think to tell. Hosted by Eagle Spark in partnership with the Vast Bridges to Pathways initiative. This film fest highlights the work of students from the Vast Pathways Bridge to Success program, which is a community of neurodiverse learners using storytelling to share perspectives we don't often get to see. That will be held on April 29th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the HCC West Loop campus. Next, the HCC Choral Ensembles Concert. Get ready for an evening filled with harmony, energy, and the power of live performance. HCC's choral ensembles, including the choirs led by Professor Vandiver, come together for a concert that showcases the beauty and intensity of voices united in song. From soaring arrangements to intimate moments of blend and balance, this performance highlights the skill, passion, and dedication of our student singers. Don't miss a night where music fills the room and every note brings the ensemble to life. That also will be held on April 29th from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Houston City College Central Campus, Heinen Theater at 3517 Austin Street. Next, the 2026 Veterans Community Resource Fair. Houston City College welcomes you to join the Veterans Community Resource Fair, sponsored by the City of Houston Office of Veterans and Military Affairs. This event is dedicated to honoring those who've served and to ensuring that veterans, service members, and their families have access to the tools, services, and networks they need to thrive in civilian life. On-site representatives ready to answer questions, help with applications, and guide you through available programs. Networking opportunities to connect with other veterans, community partners, support groups, and service providers. That will be held on April 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the HCC South Campus at Airport Boulevard. HCC Summer 2026 registration is now open. HCC Summer 2026 registration is officially open. Take advantage of flexible start dates beginning May 11th and get ahead this summer. Don't wait. Secure your classes today and move closer to your goals. Register today to get ahead of your education. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.